Hello everyone, I'm Lady Calamere. I welcome you to my channel. I am doing my 230th presentation and it will be on the Roman goddess Bellona. So anyways, I do not have an image of her, but this is a card of her. And it comes from this wonderful deck, the Universal Goddess Tarot. And it's by Maria Carati and Antonella Platano. And it's by Los Cabero. But that's where it comes from. And here we see her as the Ace of Swords. Bellona. Who is she? Well, she is a goddess of war, violence, bloodshed, battle, ferociousness, but she's also a goddess of diplomacy. Now, depending on the stories that you work with, she's either the daughter, she's usually popularly seen as the daughter of the goddess Queen of Heaven Juno, and the king of the gods, Jupiter. So the king and queen of the gods and goddesses, and a sister to Mars. But there's also another lineage that says she is the daughter of Mars. Regardless, she was a very popular Roman goddess. She eventually became known as Bellona Victrix, meaning Bellona the Victorious. She is a goddess of destruction, war, battle, bloodshed, bloodlust, conquest. She is a mighty figure. She is the personification of war. I gotta turn off my phone. And it is, I believe, even the word belligerent comes from her name, Bellona. I cannot. Ugh. I'm sorry about that. So, she was adopted by Rome and became a goddess of Rome, but she was not originally from Rome. She was the people that, from the Sabine, Sabines, that migrated and brought their goddess with her, in which, of course, Rome adopted her. And yes, there were temples to her. Bellona is a goddess of military matters and strategy. Her planetary power is Mars. Her element is fire. Her colors said to be red, as well as black, but also blood red and crimson. Symbols and attributes to her is the sword, the shield, the spear, whip, a torch, and a spear. There are images with her with a torch, but she's more seen with weapons. Another thing that she also blows the trumpet or like a horn right before war is that sometimes she is said to blow that war horn. The goddesses that's associated with her or be close to her, like her Greek counterpart would be the goddess Enyo. Like Enya, but take the A out and put an O, Enyo, which was a minor war deity and associated with the god Ares. Ares, but it's pronounced Ares. The Anatolian war goddess Ma. And there is another goddess that was associated with the cult of Mars, Neria, Neria, a war goddess who was a partner with Mars. Now, also, what is believed, not only was she sister of Mars, sometimes daughter, but also as well as a lover of Mars, that she was his lover. Bellona is seen as very beautiful, very fierce. Pretty much this is a great description of her. She has that Xena. You ever see Xena when she is in Rome and she's dressed like the Roman legions? That's what she looks like. Just like that. Like Xena, warrior princess dressed as in Rome garb, warrior garb. In fact, the war general Sulla, who became dictator of Rome, he was a great devotee of Bellona and attribute his success in many wins. And then eventually he takes over Rome and he, builds he has a temple built to her and he attribute her his success. She was also the attribute of not only, we're not talking about the defense, but the conquest of what Rome did. That Bellona was one of the war goddesses that helped them conquer other peoples, other nations, other societies. Bellona is also called is beautiful. She is also said to be very, very beautiful. Belladonna is actually her flower, and don't fuck with this flower if you don't know what you're doing, because this flower is very poisonous. But Belladonna is her flower. Bellona was an inspiration to many different artists. And she was inspired through poems, through literature, music, paintings, statues, carvings of her. Sometimes she is said to be not only the wife's sister, girlfriend, consort, and daughter of Mars, she's also was said to eventually be his charioteer, where she hands the reins of the horses to Mars sometimes, or she drives his chariot into battle. into war. She's also to um, have Etruscan roots as well as the Sabines, which these people inhabited this central Italy, what's central Italy today. So it's a matter of historical record that the first temple dedicated to this goddess was built around 290. What is it? I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry. 296. Circa 296 BCE. So also there was a temple outside the city gates of Rome. And this place was where ambassadors were brought to during a matter of diplomacy, where they weren't allowed into the city of Rome, but they were brought to the temple to discuss such matters. So that's where the Campus Martius, the Campus Martius was located outside the city walls of Rome, which was also dedicated to Mars. But there was an important temple of Bellona there, and where military matters were discussed, where the Roman senators would meet generals who, during their victorious campaigns against other foreign nations and foreign wars, where they were triumphant and victorious. And this was also a temple outside in this very temple, where declarations of war would be officially were made. And it was done by throwing a javelin over the column. There was a particular column in front of the temple, and it was thrown over this column to declare war. Her priests partook in blood rituals, and what they would do is they would slice themselves to let blood flow, the shedding of human blood. And this celebration, which this is her day, her sacred day, which is coming up March 24th. So March 24th was the Day of Blood. And her priests were called the Bellonari, which took part in shedding blood. They would cut their arms, their legs, and they would collect this blood and offer it to Bellona, and sometimes they would even drink it themselves. This was like a ritual for her, the Day of Blood, March 24th. She would also have a way of getting to warriors, the soldiers, to incite their bloodlust, to rally the troops. She would incite war and bravery into the soldiers, the warriors, to fight. This goddess is also a goddess of bravery, strength, and not backing down. She was and is a goddess when you have to stand your ground, when you have to fight someone. And sometimes that you ever hear the war is won without firing one single bullet. She's a goddess of courage and strength and to stand your ground, to not be bullied. But she's also a goddess that can help bullies, believe it or not. Bullies can call on her, but she can also be called to fight bullies. She's a matron or patroness of battles. She helps during the times of mourning your losses, licking your wounds, and celebrating victories. She is the warrior woman. She could be like Callisto in Xena Warrior Princess, or Xena, or how Gabrielle grows to be a warrior herself. So at the end of the series finale, Gabrielle has now all the teachings of Xena, and she learns how to wield the chakram. That's basically her. She is the warrior spirit, and yes, I am a Xena fan. I always love Xena. She will help you fight battles within literal and metaphorical battles. If you have to, say, go to war with someone, we're not talking about a literal war, we're talking about a war to protect yourself and your family from someone, whether you have to go to court. She is a goddess to help you fight your battles and stand strong and not shrink in the hour of need and desperation. She will give you that war cry to stand and fight. So she is the goddess of all military members, whether in the Army, Marines, Navy SEALs, anything that's active and ready to go into battle. Special forces, all warriors are under, and soldiers and generals and military officials are all under her guidance during the time of war. All wars is under her, just or unjust. No, Loki, you can't do this. Speaking of battle, Loki's about to kick Jack's ass, and it ain't right. No, you're not gonna point me. Come on. Let's go get a toy. I like to play. Come on. Let's go get a toy. Come on, Loki. Who wants a toy? Here we go. So her offerings are, of course, blood, even your blood. Just be careful how you get your blood, how you draw your blood. Fire. At one time, I believe spoils of war could have been given to her. So an idea. Here's an idea of an offering. Let's just say you took your ex to court and you won, and you had to fight your ex. So if you have something of your ex, you can give it to her as a spoil of war. As for offerings, deep red wines. Red wine is a great offering to her. I would offer her, and this is not traditional, but blood oranges, because when you cut them open, they look like it's bleeding. So blood oranges are a great offering to her. I would offer her, of course, grapes were probably offered to her. But let's do red grapes. Let's give her, especially red fruits. Let's give her candies that kind of bleed, like a chocolate covered cherry, like a Queen Anne cherry. When you cut it, it bleeds. As far as meat, I believe she would accept it. So think of steak tartare. Or meat, like stop it, a rare steak. That's what I was thinking about. A nice steak or a rare hamburger meat. Things to deal with war. Bullets. You can offer her gunpowder. Knives, especially if it's used for battle. Of course, of course, like swords and spears. Incenses. Dragon's blood would be good for her. Spicy incenses like cinnamon would definitely fiery, spicy incense. So the Whole Foods, they have these incense cones called fire. You can go and get that. Stones. Blood stones. Red agates. Red jasper. Fire agates. Dragon's blood calcite. Dragon's bloodstone, which is bloodstone from Australia. Those are some good stones to connect with her. Potassium nitrate. Be careful, it is explosive. Gunpowder here. Gunpowder. Stuff from fireworks. And yes, fireworks can be exploded for her. You can give her a firecracker. Ladyfinger fire, those itty bitty firecrackers. You can also blow any type of fireworks to her, especially if it's loud, or even like whistle rockets, Roman candles. So yeah, those things that go boom, the firecrackers. One interesting thing that one of her shields had is the head of the Gorgon Medusa. So Medusa is actually seen to be as her shield to bring extra fear. And that's interesting because we see different deities with the head of Medusa, like Athena. And that may be more of a Greek influence now going into her. Her shield is not just for defense, it's also for used as a weapon to smack your opponent. Yes, shields were used to smack your opponent. And defend the legion. Get away from Jack. You are not going to bite him because he's next to me. So Bellona, as we see right now, what's going on, is a goddess of aggress. She's aggressive. She's assertive. And she's to the point and doesn't play around. Is she approachable? If you're timid, she may not be the goddess for you. But if you're used to goddesses like Chinnamasta, Morrigan, Maeve, yeah, go right on ahead and call her. Her day would definitely be Tuesday. Planetary power, of course, is Mars. She's a goddess of martial arts. She's a goddess to help you win a martial arts competition. To win a boxing. Anything to do with fights. Unfortunately, nowadays, she'd also deal with gang war. All types of war. Like I said, just or unjust. She's goddess. This goddess is also a goddess for women to stand up and fight aggression. She's a goddess of female independence and empowerment. So she's a goddess. If you're looking for inspiration, confidence, and strength, look no further than Bellona. She is how can I say? She is her. She rides a chariot pulled by, of course, horses into war. If she's seen riding something. Or she rides with Mars. Bellona is a goddess of victory. She's a god. She is a symbol, the very image of victory and triumph. Did you know even symphonies and operas have been composed in her honor, in Bellona's honor? She is seen through some museums throughout the world. But again, even though she has a large piece in battle, she's also diplomacy. So when to strike a bargain, when to strike a treaty of peace with someone. So peace treaties were also done under her. Bargains between nations, agreements between nations were done through her. She is a go-getter. She is an active goddess. But also remember, she is ferocious war goddess. The association I would associate her with the goddess, maiden, warrior, mother, crone, and sovereign queen would be warrior. I would associate her with, of course, goddess of war. I just follow the maiden, mother, crone symbolism. She is definitely a dark lady. She'd be on the darker spectrum. And she can be used to influence your enemy into destruction. She could be used for violent spells of destruction, cursing, to banish someone. She can make someone victorious and make someone a loser. To make them lose while you have success. But remember, she's also a bloodlust goddess. So don't you forget that. Loki, can you leave Jack alone? Jamboree Jack is too old for this shit. She is a goddess that can help you with your power. Not only just power over yourself, but power over others. She can help with spells of dominance and control. To be able to tell someone what to do. To gain control over someone. Bellona was more of the uncontrollable aspects of warfare. The fire and fury of once you get into the battlefield. She was the one who inspired fear. Into people when they fought against Rome. She inspired she could inspire great respect, but also reverence to the Romans, while inspiring fear to the nations they were conquering, to the lands they were conquering, to the people they were conquering. She has a fierce countenance, her presence very commanding. I know I'm starting to repeat on a little bit of this. There's actually a Rembrandt painting of Bellona. So you can look up Rembrandt's painting of Bellona. Just thought I would throw that in. So she's a defensive and especially offensive goddess. She's particularly very fond of violence. She loves the bloodshed of war. She's the kind of goddess, is what my friend Mike would say, fuck around and find out type of goddess. And yes, she could be very cruel. And her priest, like I said, the Bellonari, would also, not only did they devote their lives to people, but they would also offer guidance to those who came to them and those who came to Bellona. We talk about the Temple of Bellona, and it was this was a very important temple. It wasn't your run of the mill temple, the one outside the city gates of Rome. When you look at mythological, the mythology behind Romulus, the founder of Rome, he actually was said to pray to Bellona to get her favor to help him with the building of Rome. That's, of course, in the mythological sources. So when we think about this, she can help you build your own home up, your own fortress up, your own empire, business empire or business endeavors. If you have competition against other businesses, you can ask Bellona to make you successful and squash the competition or keep them in line, make them toe the line. So, what else can I talk about her? She's pretty formidable, and she can make you formidable too when you call upon her. So, if you're on your personal conquest, call upon Bellona. If you got someone fucking with you, call upon Bellona. If you have to fight a war because your country said so, call upon Bellona. If you're in active military service, call upon Bellona. So what else can I talk about her? I think maybe I've been talking about her for 38 minutes. And it's been a long day, a long ass night for me. I'm just trying to think. If you know any of the writings of Virgil, it was said that she carried a whip that was blood soaked. She There is also another festival other than March 24th. Is actually on June 3rd. Was another fest. I forgot about that. Sorry. So go back in your notes. March 24th, the Day of Blood. And another festival was June 3rd. So those are her festivals to her. So, anyways, I do hope you enjoy this. I do want to do some announcements. I found Tabahi is a great. Speaking about Bellona, Tabahi's got the spirit of Bellona. They are from a thrash metal band from Pakistan, and they've been writing about the injustice of their country. They even have a song called FUN, Fucked Up Nation. They also speak about, they sing about how fucked up the religious leaders are there with their extreme, we're talking about extreme madness of radical Islam, and how they call them out about how they, use their children to blow up shit, and make it their children are victims too, because they indoctrinate their children with hate, and they're speaking out against this. And these guys live in Karachi. Yeah, the worst part of Pakistan you want to be living in, because this is very full a lot of crime and violence. And they don't agree with anyone making music, so yeah, they're standing up to this shit. They even have a song called Fatwa, and it's a fatwa against their government and their injustice. So they got the new album Thrash for Justice. Thought I'd bring that up. They got balls of steel. Also, look up another band I found in India called Dredgehammer. There's a lot of bands coming out of India thanks to Demonic Resurrection, a guy Demon Stealer, and Bloodywood. Great band coming from India. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to India. People from India have been watching my channel. I want to give a shout out to Germany. People from Germany are watching my channel. I want to give a shout out to people in the USA, my country, because I got a lot of watchers from there. So thank you. I am up to 570 subscribers. Keep subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Let me know what you think of Bellona. I will respond as soon as I can, or at least react to it. So you subscribing, you liking, you commenting helps the gods of algorithm to bring these videos to other countries. I've got people in South Korea watching my videos. Shout out to people in Brazil. Where else? There are people in Brazil watching my channel. So yeah, I got people across the world watching my channel. So let's bring my channel to everybody. I do these for free. If you wanna do something, please adopt animals from shelters. They are overflowing. So instead of buying that designer cat, maybe you can get a designer cat from a shelter. You can get some pure-blooded cats and pure-blooded dogs from shelters. You just look on petfinder.com. So check out petfinder.com and find your friend today. But thank you so much for watching. As always, blessed be. Let's go get a closer look at that card. Okay, take care. Blessed be.